3000 BC was the first evidence of bread, and it was found in Egypt, and it was very important to their culture, and it was so important to the point where peasants all the way to pharaohs used it, and they used it as currency. It used to be a religious symbol, and it still is for some religions, and it can be used for different meals. Since it's been around for centuries, it's a very easy meal for people to use. It usually takes days to make it by hand, but I will show you how to make it in about an hour and a half. I thank my mom for showing me this recipe. It was a childhood delight, and one of my favorite things is coming home to the scent of fresh bread. We usually have this as a side for Alfredo spaghetti, but we also use it for peanut butter jelly sandwiches. White bread is the most common bread eaten around, and that is what I'm making today. Bread isn't a very nutritious food on its own, but you can add it to others to make it more nutritious. This bread maker can make a lot of things. It can make jelly, pizza dough, and really a lot of things. But I will show you how to make a 1.5 pound of bread. So, to get it started, you will have to know your bread maker. It has this little bowl inside, and it has this inside of it, and it turns around to mix all the ingredients together. To start off, obviously you want it clean, and then all you have to do, if you look inside, there's a smooth part, and you have to line it up with this, and you just slide it in there. And then in here, there's a bottom, because you have to put it in there and you have to twist it a little bit. You slide it in there and you twist it, and it will lock in place. After you know that, there's a lot of different buttons that are used for different things. And today, we will just be using the Express 58 minutes, and you just have to use start stop. Other things is that obviously the lid is to make sure everything is down, and all you have to do is just shut it, and you don't have to lock it or anything. When you're using this, it might shake a little bit when you're using the bread part, but don't worry, it's normal. So, fun fact about the bread machine, it was made in 1902 by a guy named Joseph Lee. The first bread maker was made in the 1800s, but it only used breadcrumbs. It took until 1902 to make a bread maker that does the kneading and everything else that a human would do. Well, now you know about the bread machine a little bit. What you'll need is that you'll need a cup and 2 tablespoons of hot water between 115 and 205 degrees Fahrenheit. You have to put it in a microwave, and we put it in for about 30 seconds, and then it will temp it with a thermometer. Afterwards, you will need 2 tablespoons of oil. You'll need 2 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of salt, which I put it together in a bag. And you'll need 5 teaspoons of yeast, and it has to be Red Star Rising yeast. The brand does matter to this bread maker. And then you'll need 3 cups of bread flour, and it needs to be bread flour. It can't be a different kind of flour. The way to put the ingredients in here is important. You will have to put the wet ingredients before the dry, because you can't get the yeast wet before you start the bread maker. So I'll put everything in here so you can see how it is. I did not get to warm this up first, but we'll just put it in there like that. 2 tablespoons of oil. It really doesn't matter if you put the sugar in and salt before the flour, so I'll just put the sugar and salt in first. And then the flour. Everything is pre-measured, so don't worry, I don't have too much flour. now you have the flour. You have to make a big divot in the flour, enough to make sure that the yeast can go in there without touching the wet ingredients. So kind of like that, there's a big divot as it moves. So after you have that, you will just put these in the divot. And since that's in there, what you do is that all you have to do is you keep hitting select until you get to here, and that's the express bake 58 minutes. And then it'll just hit start stop, and it will do the rest for you. It'll take 15 minutes, and it will do the cooking, and it will do the mixing all for you. Since after you wait 15 minutes, you will have a fresh loaf of bread. It's hot, and when you take it out, be careful because the pan will be hot, so I use oven mitts. When you take it out, the spindle in the middle will come out with it, so we just use a butter knife to get it out. I would let it cool for a little bit because it's extremely hot, but now I showed you how to use a 1.5-pound loaf with this bread maker. I hope you enjoy your little meal, your little side treat, and thank you for listening to my speech.